Picture this. You've got the perfect prospect on the phone. They've loved the whole pitch. They've loved everything. They've agreed to the pricing, the terms, the service. Everything's a go. Then, at the very end of the sales call, they drop this doozy on you. Everything's great. Can we just maybe speak to a couple of people that you've already worked with? They want references. Your stomach leaps up into your throat and it won't come down. You've heard this one before, and you know that you can never, ever beat it. Well, after this video training today, you're gonna be able to beat it. If you don't know me, my name is Drew Long. I've helped grow B2C and B2B sales teams from 5 sellers to over 150, bringing in over $6 million in cash per month. I've helped individual salespeople close at 40, 50, yes, or even over 70% conversion rate consistently for over 14 months. Still haven't seen anybody else who can claim that outcome. And I've helped groups of up to 12 people collect over $1.2 million in cash per month as an entire team for a sustained period of time. In today's video, I'm gonna break down a typical B2B agency sales process where there is absolutely nothing wrong with the sales process itself. And in fact, that is the seed of the problem. If you feel that your sales process is fine and everything is going to plan, but then you're losing at the very end with this, let me talk to some references, this training is gonna fix that for you forever. There's a fatal mistake buried in your business that you're probably not even aware of. And after today's videos, you're gonna be aware not only of the fatal mistake, but how to fix it forever. So strap in, grab your pen and paper, and let's fix this problem once and for all.
Bro, I am struggling to close. I'm not even gonna lie. I do not know. I have no social proof on my website, granted. I would figure that's the issue. So I guess, do I need to bring price down and get actual case studies first, and then I can go back up, or?
Yeah. First of all, where are you at with current clients, like results? Anybody that would be good to do a video case study with so far?
Yeah, I mean, we have one client where in the last 8 days, we booked them 21 meetings, I think, or 19 meetings.
Dang.
So that's strong.
That is.
We have they made us doing an NDA though when we started, so I don't know.
Well, I would still ask them, just see like, hey, would you be willing to hop on camera and like we can blur out your name or your company name or whatever. Would just love to like talk about the results. If you pitch for like a full on camera interview, even if they're not willing to do that, then they can go down the levels, like the waterfall of like things that they'd be willing to do. So like if it's not video, at least use a picture of you and like a long written quote. If we can't use a picture of you, can at least use like a long written quote. I'll anonymize your name. I'll put like an AI generated picture of someone that's like not you, but looks like you, whatever, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's where I would start, honestly, is, and then do you have anyone who's maybe like gotten any deals closed or sales or new clients, even if they haven't booked a ton of meetings?
Okay, so basically I just need to go through my current clients.
Yeah.
Try to grab as many testimonials as possible.
Yeah.
How many, this is like obviously not like a fine estimate, 3?
At least try to get at least 3. And remember, you could go for just number of qualified meetings or the quality of the lead. Let's say you just booked someone like 2 meetings, but both of them, they're like, oh, this is our perfect ICP. We love this. They're so quality. Still do a testimonial on that, right? Obviously, closed deals would be the best. You brought me my ICP and I closed a deal. We added revenue, right? That's the best. But anything before that is good too. So like number of meetings, quality of meetings, or revenue. The weakest form of social proof you're going to get is like, oh, James is super communicative. He's great to work with. His team is on top of everything. That's still good. That's better than nothing, but try to go for those higher levels first.
Okay. And then do you think that it'll help? But do you think?
Yes.
I guess I just have to do it. I was going to say, do you think that's enough, or?
You've got to do it for sure. I'm not going to say it's going to like skyrocket your close rate overnight. Let me just look at oh man, you're competing with the knife company on YouTube. At least when I search your name, it comes up with a bunch of pocket knives.
I don't even have what, James Pimble?
Jump Zebra?
I don't even have a YouTube.
Okay. That would be something to start. That would be something to start as well. Any social media?
Matt said he kind of regretted it though.
Really?
Like if he had just went super hard on cold email instead. Because like when you run a lead gen agency, like obviously like I'm very good at cold email. So I can just slam a bunch of cold email instead of learning all this other stuff.
Sure. That's true. I mean, here's the thing. The difference is it's a way for people to meet you before they meet you. And it's a way for people to form a parasocial relationship with you before they hop on the call. So like, that's the thing is, yes, you're good at cold email, but it's going to massively increase just the belief that you are a real person, not a scammer, by just seeing that you even have 2 or 3 videos on YouTube at all. Right? Like it's going to help the SEO, as you know, it's going to help the ranking. It's going to help like if someone searches for Jump Zebra, or if it brings up a YouTube channel, even if you only have 3 or 4 videos and like no subscribers, it just still confirms like, oh, this is the guy, this is his website. It's the same guy, right? Same with the LinkedIn. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I'm just saying like, that's why we do it. It doesn't have to take a ton of time. I know that Matt invested a ton of time and he's got like 11K subscribers, right? So he's like doubled down on it. I don't know. Did you ask him, has he ever gotten any clients from YouTube?
He gets clients all the time from YouTube. I think it's like half and half right now.
Yeah.
From cold outreach and from YouTube.
Well, that's the thing is I would suspect that, I mean, he'd be making half as much money if he hadn't gone into YouTube, right?
Well, I mean, if you put all that time, put it all in the cold email, I mean,
All right. Yeah. You could argue.
I can ask him though, because I can
Yeah.
ask him and actually get his thoughts.
Yeah.
That's probably more.
Yeah. You should just ask him. I do think that having some case studies, if you do nothing else, like having case studies posted on your website, having them posted on YouTube will help. And then let's also just tackle like what they're saying on the calls and what are the objections.
All of them ask for referrals, and I'm like, we can't because it turns into a consulting call, and then like the client loses like faith in me, and they're asking me for X and Y and Z, and like they don't want it to take up their time. It's just like
If you had video testimonials, that would definitely stop. That would definitely decrease that objection. That's just facts. Like every time I put in place video testimonials in a call, that question goes away.
damn. All right,
It's time. You got to get them.
let's say I can't get 3. What would you say to do that?
mean,
Get at least one. Get as many as you can.
Okay.
And then you got to build it into your process, right? You've got to make it a self-licking ice cream cone, meaning you've got to put at some point in your process of onboarding or client success calls, right? When you check in with them, that's when you need to ask for a referral. So you just need to put it in the process. So let's say they book their first qualified meeting that they're super hyped about. And they're like, oh yeah, this is actually a really good lead for us. Boom. That's the moment to pitch for, it doesn't have to be a full case study, but like, oh, awesome. Would you leave us a review or would you give us like a quick testimonial, like in this format, like just write these few lines, literally give them a 3-line format. When we started working with Jump Zebra, we had X. Now we have Y. Like we're really happy because blank, right? Like just give them something that's easy for them to complete and then get it at that moment when they're at a high point, when they're happy. If you just wait for some random time, way less likely that you will get a good response or any response. You got to do it. You got to program it into your service delivery so that it happens at a high point right after they have some kind of win. First quality meeting booked or first quality meeting shown. I mean, you could put it at all those points. First meeting closed from cold email. Just keep asking and like build that testimonial over time.
Okay, so I didn't know you could do it that soon. I thought I had to wait until I got booked on like 50 meetings in a month, and they're like, "Yeah, bro, let's go." So
No.
like you can do it after like first call's booked.
Yes. No reason why not. Just be like, boom.
But that's
first-
not. Is that like a full video testimony you would ask for, or just like the quote thing?
No, I just asked for a quote at that point because
Okay.
it kind of matches up with like the result, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if someone crushes it, like 21 meetings in a month, I'd say is pretty solid. I would ask for
That's full video.
It was in like 8 days.
in 8 days. Okay, there you go. I would ask for a video
Mm,
testimonial
yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
But
I will then.
as soon as they accept a qualified meeting, if it was me and they were like, oh yeah, that's qualified, we'll talk to that person. I'd be like, great. Can you give me just a quick review? Like on, hey, I was skeptical. I didn't know this would be able to book qualified meetings. And we've already booked a qualified meeting. Like just that. Can you just like go to my Google page or wherever you like keep your reviews, just send them a link and be like, hey, would you just share the good news right here? And then especially after qualified meetings shown, and they're like, oh yeah, that was a good prospect. We had a good conversation. 60% likely to close or whatever. If you're not getting that feedback, you should be. But then as soon as they give you that feedback of like, oh yeah, that was actually a good prospect. It was a good meeting. Then I'd be like, great. Could you leave me a review? And then especially after they close the deal, same thing. So awesome. What revenue did that bring you? Awesome. Would you put that in a little review? We can anonymize it if you want, but whatever. And then you'll just collect these over time, right? You can even be screenshotting like in your Slack. Whenever they say anything nice about you, I would be screenshotting that and anonymizing that and putting that in a wall of like happy customers on your website.
Man, I've been totally fumbling this then. All right. Well, at least I can start now, at least. But
Yeah, you got to start.
Dang.
You got to start now.
I think I'll grab a bunch from them.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go back through your Slack, you could probably already start getting stuff.
Well, I can even ask a bunch from like I'm sure a bunch of them.
Oh,
will
yeah.
give, I know a bunch of them will give me quotes at least. I can just ask them if they're cool with like their name and stuff being up there, and then grab a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. I would get to work on it because if you have no social proof, then I can understand why people are asking that.
Yeah. So then asking for a video would only be once you actually get them like crazy results kind of thing.
Yeah. Or just like, I wouldn't even say it has to be crazy. I'd have to be solid. It just have to be solid. Do you have any cadence right now where you're checking in with them and you're asking them after like a month, 2 months, where you're like, hey, how's it going for you guys? Are you happy? Like, what can we improve?
We talk every 2 weeks on like a video
Okay.
call, and like we talk in between then, of course.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, every 2 weeks, then, as that's your account management check in, that is also a really good opportunity. Because sometimes what you do, because you've got your Fathom in there, it's kind of like stealth mode, but just be like, yeah, I mean, we've been going for a month. Like, what are the high points from your perspective? Like, what have you liked? What have you not liked? And then you've got it recorded. So if they say something really great, which they should be saying great things, right? You can just be like, oh, I love that quote. Actually, I love what you just said. That's so helpful. Hey, let me ask you this. This is crazy, but you can totally say no. But could I just clip that out of this call recording and like use that on my YouTube, just like as like a, can I just, and they'll probably be like, sure, yeah, that's fine. It's whatever. And if they want to be anonymous, you can be like, I'll totally anonymize you. No big deal. But like, can I just clip that? You just said something really cool. I just love that you said that about what our service is. And so there's like a kind of a stealth mode where you can pick it up as a normal course of business of just staying on top of account management, right?
Yeah, that's probably my constraint right now, actually. So yeah.
I would say so. Because if like everyone is asking for referrals before they work with you.
Yeah, well, I started hitting up homes. Well, no, I guess it's been like pretty much everyone industry agnostic, I guess, actually. So yeah.
Okay. I think that's probably it.
Yeah.
We can definitely still review calls. We can look at how you're going through things. But I mean, everything I've seen recently from you, like your sales process is pretty dialed. It's pretty dialed in.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty dialed. Of course, there's things you can improve, but in terms of just like you're following a solid structure, you're having good conversations every time, at least for what I'm seeing.
Okay. I guess it's that then. And I'm sure targeting easier industries outside of like SaaS and agencies.
Yeah, those are
Would
pretty
help.
tough. That's kind of hard
Yeah.
mode. Well, and it's crazy to me that you've gotten to this level without any social proof. Like that's pretty nuts. Like that is also pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think it's easier because like they're on the call because it works. So like we're gonna use the
Yeah.
same system. So it's like they kind of are the social proof as well. But
True.
you're right.
Very true. Yeah. I mean, I could never get away with that. Like if I didn't have a bunch of social proof, people like, they'd be like, what, who are you? Go away. You know, it's just like, so I guess it's different. It's a different service.
Yeah, I'll go do all that then.
I would work on that. And most important thing, build it into your process. Like Alex Hormozy talks a lot about this. That's where I got the self-licking ice cream cone of like, it needs to be part of service delivery to get social proof out of people. Like it just needs to be baked into your process to check for social proof regularly. Every single win point, no matter how small, just bake it in. Because like obviously CA has it dialed in. For one example, right? Think about like the insurmountable wall of video testimonials that they can throw on prospects, right? It's like an obscene, disgusting amount of proof, right? And that doesn't happen by accident. Yeah, they're a great business, but they've had to like manually go hunt those people down. Their account managers are incentivized on getting reviews, on getting case studies. That is part of their compensation plan. So that's how a real business does it. They want an outcome, they want a result, they pay to get it. And that's what you should think about it that way too. Okay, I'm going to pay myself to do this, and my payment is going to be higher close rate, fewer objections, right, on the actual calls.
That's pretty cool.
And then just think about how powerful it is as sales assets. If you had like 50 videos, you can just spam the videos before they get on the discovery call, spam the videos as your follow-up after you've pitched them between the first and second call. Or if they're like, yeah, not us, not right now. We're going to do something different. We're going to try paid ads or whatever. You could just spam the videos for the next year, right? Until they eventually realize like, okay, well, paid ads are hard. I'm going to go back and try the cold email thing.
Yeah.
It's the best sales asset ever.
All right, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Ask Matt about YouTube. I'll probably put up like 3 to 5 videos as well.
Yeah.
Just to have that. I guess outside of that, what's your thoughts on just having one package? Part of me almost feels like I price drop and now they have to also make a decision between packages on top of comparing me versus other vendors versus if it's just like, hey, price is whatever, 2K per month plus 200 per call.
Yeah.
That covers costs, etc. What are your thoughts on that?
You could do that. That's also can be successful from a sales psychology standpoint. It can help to have different options for different people and like ways to like upsell, downsell. That's like the main reason I design it that way. Matt ran with like one standard pricing for probably his first year. I don't even know if he has his packages at all. You might ask him, what are his thoughts on pricing?
Yeah, he just tells me to just raise the tech fee over time. So I guess then that means I can just do one price then.
Yeah, you could do that. I think that would be fine. That might be something that might help as well. It might simplify the decision-making process. I don't get the sense though that most people like you're priced out of the market for most of the leads you talk to, or is that the case? Or some people just like, whoa, crazy. We don't have that money.
No, I never hear anyone say like we don't have the money. I think it's just more like
The value.
because then they're always like, all right, well, we need to run the numbers, right? Because then I think they want to test different scenarios with because like the pricing is like it might be more monthly and then less per call. So they want to experiment with like, okay, what happens at 10 calls per month versus 20 versus if they get none, and then like
Yeah.
I guess
It might-
rolled one though. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, it might help to simplify it so that you can there's fewer scenarios to run with just one package price, right?
Yeah.
If it's more simple, it might help them with their decision making, because I can see why that would get some people in analysis paralysis, especially because the way you have it, it's like inverse. It's like tech fee goes down, but then cost per call goes up. And that definitely creates a scenario where they're going to try to like finagle it, right? They're like, I feel like I'm getting screwed somewhere in here. I just have to figure out where, right? Like, what's the package where I don't get screwed?
And then what are your thoughts on, I feel like I went away from like the typical CA pitch to like what I have now. You think I should go back to more like the CA pitch? Because I have no roadmap in my current thing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm restudying some Cole Gordon training right now, and it's kind of reminding me of what 3 pillars is supposed to actually be about. And I realized that like CA doesn't even really translate that learning very well into CA is just like 3 pillars, just do it, right? Without really explaining why or what it's supposed to do. And I mean, that's how I started too. I was like, okay, 3 pillars, right? But going back to that Cole Gordon training, I'm like, oh, the 3 pillars specifically is building the bridge between where they're at now and where they want to go. Every pillar is supposed to address a specific problem that they currently have and explain why it's going to get them to their goal. So for cold email, I would suggest that you do something like the first pillar might be data accuracy and targeting. The reason that you guys haven't gotten qualified leads in the past, whenever you've tried this, is because most people screw up data quality and targeting. But what we do instead is we do blah, 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 blah steps in Clay to make sure that the data quality is good. And then we triple verify. And then we still screen out bad leads. And then we still, whatever it is you do, right? The whole point of the pillar is actually to explain why their past results sucked, why it didn't work, and explain why this time it's going to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on doing that in like unsophisticated industries where they haven't even, because that totally
Never
makes
tried
sense
it.
for like marketing
Yeah.
agencies, SaaS. Okay, cool. I know like they tried cold email, it doesn't work. Like I literally know why it didn't work. Some of these manufacturing companies or something where it's like, we do trade shows and referrals.
Right. So in that case, I would switch it up to explain why this is superior to their current methods. And this requires a little bit of like thinking on the fly, but in that case, I would be, hey, the first thing about the cold email that's great is scalability. This scales in a way that trade shows and referrals can't because of our warm-up system and our unique inbox architecture. It allows you to send up to 50,000 emails a month or whatever it is, right? Like you're going to be able to do mass personalization at scale. Effectively, just think about it like going to 5 trade shows a day, right? Like something, make some analogy where it's like, oh, actually this pillar takes what you're already doing and puts it to shame because it's just that, but in a way better format. And just kind of, so build your pillars around that. Either this explains why your past results sucked and failed, and this is how we're going to make sure that it doesn't happen again, or this is how we're going to take your current efforts and put them on steroids using the same principles that work in the trade shows or referrals, but now we're just like mechanizing them.
So like if I have a page, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I have a page up, like how would I just have like the 3 main pillars and I would just like verbally
Yes.
change it? Or are you saying like customize all 3 pillars depending?
No, I would have like the same 3 pillars on the page, but then I would just talk over it, right? And I would just have like very little information for them to read because you don't want like paragraphs and paragraphs anyway. You just want like high level personalization, scale, maybe scale is one of them, like data integrity is one of them, qualification criteria is one of them, and then continuous improvement is one of them. Or the other point of the 3 pillars is it's supposed to sequentially build from like, this is the first part of the process that only gets you so far. Like, okay, we're going to get you interested replies, right? Second part of the process is we're going to get you booked meetings that are qualified on your calendar. Third part of the process is with that feedback, we're going to improve the messaging. We're going to take the sales calls recordings and we're going to pipe them back into the front end marketing so that we can even improve the copy from there based on what people are saying on the sales calls or something like that, right? Where it's like they can see how all 3 components build sequentially to get them better results and ultimately to get them the revenue that they want.
Okay. Let's say first pillar is scalability factor, right? So we say we're able to send a bunch of emails for you. And then the second thing could be, let's just say we say the data, right?
Yeah.
Then we say that so that they're targeted. So like it should be mechanisms, so like i.e. scalability or targeting, and that has a result, i.e. positive replies.
Yes.
And then so we have 3 pillars, but each section over is what builds on each other.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. 100%. Because obviously there's a bunch of different things you could talk about that are benefits to cold email, but you want to just package them in such a way that it's like, oh, I see logically how this gets us to more revenue. You also can talk over like, here's why this step is a benefit in your industry and your situation. Like, here's why this is better than what you're currently doing or what you tried in the past. Basically, you're building the sales argument. Here's why you're going to succeed with this vehicle versus maybe not succeeding in the past, or maybe succeeding, but then being limited in some way with your current vehicle.
Okay.
And you could use anything, right? You could use the fact that the custom copy, or we can try thousands of variations of copy. You could use the data cleaning, the data integrity, the data sources could be your secret sauce. You could just find a lot of different ways to spin it, right? And to like spin the benefits.
Would you change the three that I have right now? Because right now it's basically like infrastructure / deliverability, and then list building, which I can change to like data / accuracy, and then we have messaging as well.
Yeah.
Would you change those?
I think those are fine. I mean, those are some of the key points and main benefits of the vehicle. I would just maybe like think about what your different prospects care about, because they all care about slightly different things, right? And when you're going on a call or you're looking at a prospect, think about what niche are they in? How do they think about this, about marketing? How am I going to kind of spin the 3 pillars to address what they're talking about? And the best is on the sales call in discovery, when you hear how they're talking about marketing success or failure and what's important to them, you're kind of like gonna flow with it and adjust on the fly and use different language to describe the pillars almost based on what they told you in discovery. So if like their big pain point, right, is like, oh, well, no one's been able to get us qualified leads, then you're gonna pitch more so like, oh, well, this is how we're gonna make sure you're gonna get qualified leads.
Okay. So I guess we can have deliverability just be like getting replies in the first place. Then we can have targeting / accuracy be, I guess, getting replies from the right people, and then messaging to actually get booked calls and people actually interested enough. Would that be like?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, like the copy is going to get them on the calls, get them to actually show up. The data quality is going to make sure we're talking to the right people, the people that you actually want that are qualified. And the infrastructure is going to enable us to do it at scale and over and over and over again, rinse and repeat, right?
So you go in reverse.
Potentially, depending on the prospect. I would kind of play it by ear depending on the prospect, but it can go in any order, right? It can go sequentially in terms of the order you actually do it, and you can describe it backwards, forwards, whatever makes sense for you.
Okay, I like that. Should we go through the call I just did then? Earlier
Let's
today,
do
I
it.
guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. I dropped it in the school.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're enjoying this video so far and you're finding value in the information I'm sharing, realize that it doesn't matter if you understand this intellectually. What matters is that it's practice and that it's real for you. So because of that, I'm going to invite you to join my school community. Link in the description. It's completely free for 7 days. You could come in and try out the techniques, take a look at a lot of additional content we have. But the thing that's really going to help you is we're going to help pair you up with a role play partner. And then at higher levels, you can also get your own calls reviewed by me every Friday. We can do a call breakdown. We can do a role play scenario, and we're going to skyrocket your skills a lot faster. Now, back to the video.
Everybody wants references.
This guy, you want to references too. So I don't think he's going to close, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, like you'll watch it. He wanted to set up a meeting for next week, so we did, but.
Well, that's good. That's good at least.
Yeah, but he said he needed to talk to his team. You'll see. But
Okay. All right.
true. Pretty good. Very nice. Very nice. Where are we located at?
I'm in
I did
Nashville.
also, I flowed more for the discovery. So like he started talking about, I think like some of the stuff they were doing. So I think I did a little bit better than that on that, but you can let me know.
Okay.
Well, not too far. I'm over Pennsylvania, like 35 from Philly.
Yeah, no problem.
Very nice. Very nice. So cool. So for this call, we can basically just go through some questions, see if it's a fit, see what's going on, and then take it from there. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. And I always ask, do you have a hard stop in half an hour?
Yeah, I would like to, half an hour would probably be sufficient if we can keep it within that.
Okay. Try and get through it speedily then. So I guess first things first, in terms of like kind of what we do, what we really specialize in, it's the email side of things. So similar to the email campaign that you got, setting up all the infrastructure to send all the emails, finding the people and companies that are qualified, getting them interested, and then we set up a time for you guys to be able to speak to them basically.
Mhm.
Now, pricing wise, there's a base monthly amount to cover the cost that we have, and then there's an amount per qualified and basically show call as well. So we'll talk through all that once we know more, once we run you through what we do internally. But with all that being said, where are you guys at right now with generating sales meetings type of thing? And like, what are you trying to accomplish at this point in time?
So we're all and then we do a lot of LinkedIn and Facebook within our ads for the company, and we have a lot of repeat business. And then what's the other thing that we do here? I have each rep build out their own LinkedIn presence, and we do a lot of trade shows, BOMA, CCC, all the major trade shows that we're supposed to be doing. And then I have a inside salesperson who works on gathering or setting meetings with trade partners. And then I have a sales ops person who does all back-end research to provide everything we need for our account managers to set up meetings with strategic accounts. So what we really go after outside of the service department are regional and national accounts, so that we can service those guys all over the country and learn what their portfolio is each year so that we can jump in and be better on it.
Okay. And what are you trying to accomplish with this specifically?
With your program, Just interest. I'm always a person that likes to learn. I've used a lot of cold calling services in the past. I haven't had any success with them. I partnered with Abstract Marketing for a little while, Sales Hive for a little while. It just seems like the quality of appointments that I was getting set up just weren't really good. And I think the reason why it wasn't good is it had a lot to do with response time. Whenever I send guys out to canvas buildings around me, it's like they set that appointment right then and there. They don't have to wait for somebody to come back and set an appointment or anything else because we lose a lot in that time frame. So, I'm just interested in just, kind of hear what your guys' approach is and to see if it's something that might be good for me.
Okay. And when you were saying bad quality with the cold calling, do you mean like people you would show up, your reps would show up and they just weren't interested, or what do you mean specifically?
Yeah, we would always
Exact right question. That was going to be my next question. Is like when you say disqualified or unqualified leads, like what does that look like for you? So that's great.
call back to verify the appointment and try to talk to them a little bit. And oftentimes we wouldn't get that person on the phone, or they would cancel the appointment or not be there when we do show up for the appointment. And, that seemed to be a recurring problem.
Okay. And you think that was just primarily because of like slow response time kind of thing?
I think that had something to do with it, but also the people that were calling on them, I don't think were really as good at what they were supposed to be doing as they claim. I know you guys are in business, I'm in business. It's like, you guys have to sell your product and you're supposed to provide, but I just haven't been able to find a company that's actually been able to deliver on that yet.
Yeah. So the speed to lead was a problem. So do you think if they had just set the appointment sooner, so your sales rep were able to hit them sooner, you know that
yeah, that's what we know. Everything in this world is really about convenience, and whenever we're getting in front of somebody, we've got to be able to move on that quickly so that we can get that appointment set. And we have to be able to respond and actually get out there in a reasonable time too. Specifically with our service repair work, they don't want to wait 2 weeks or anything like that. We need to be able to add it on the calendar and get them there, really within 42 to 78 hours.
So would they just like send them up real far in advance, or like was it too far away, or what was going on?
No, I think really what happened is they would set the appointment or they wouldn't actually set the appointment. The telemarketing companies didn't have the availability with us at that time to be able to set the appointment. So some of it's probably on us, but they really just weren't the best at qualifying those clients either. There's a lot of training that goes in. I'm sure you know this, of asking the proper questions to make sure that we have a real opportunity instead of just saying, hey, we just want to show up and give you guys a free inspection. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take that. And then nothing ever happens.
Right. That's what happens most. You know that. Company calls in, they get like 55 estimates, and then they, maybe they do something with one of them, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like then if they were better at it, I guess obviously like that's thing in and of itself, and they actually set it up on time so that your reps were able to make it over like speedily, and so they were qualifying them, so they're not just getting estimates from everyone. Then it could have worked out. It sounds like.
Yeah, hypothetically. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The reason why I bring this up to you is because, I put a major investment, as you can hear how I've got this structured, and making sure that we control everything that we do out there, and we can run all of our analytics on it through HubSpot, which is our CRM system we can use, so we can actually understand where we need to improve and what's already working very well. We can listen to phone conversations, we can track LinkedIn activity, follow-ups, close ratios, all the stuff that you need to be able to track to a good rep that can actually penetrate properly.
So with this, is it just that you're looking to hit people through another channel as well, and hit people that maybe they're more on email as opposed to the current channels you're doing it?
Yeah, and just genuine interest whenever you reached out is like, well, I'll just hear what the guy has to say about this. Maybe he has a little bit different of an approach. Maybe your ability to penetrate into an account, superior to other people I've dealt with. And maybe not. The same as interviewing companies. I interview a lot of salespeople. Most don't make it. And it's not because I'm a hard ass. I just have high expectations, or at least I have my standards. And if we're not aligned, that's okay.
That makes sense. You got to go through and make sure if it actually makes sense in that type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess then, what would you consider a qualified meeting? We had to define it more in depth.
Yeah, qualified meeting is.
What would you be happy with?
The ideal qualified meeting is going to hit BANT, right? Budget, authority, need, and timing.
Okay. So in terms of the person the meeting's with, are we talking about property owners, property managers, everything? Facility managers, all that stuff. Okay. And how many, I guess, of these meetings would you be wanting to have per month that you guys can handle capacity-wise through us?
We don't have a problem with capacity of handling more meetings. So, it just depends on, it doesn't depend on anything. We have the capacity to handle anything that you guys could put in play for qualified meetings.
Okay. So 10, 20, 50. We're good with all that?
Fine with all that.
How much would you say you guys make per job that you get?
If you're talking, that's a big variable because
very big variable.
Yeah, it'd be tough to say. I can tell you percentage-wise what we do. So, we target to be at 32% as an average on our production work, which is our GP, and 60% on our service work.
Okay. And roughly, what would you say the average job size is? Are we talking 500,000, 3 million, 10? Like
that was a production work. Our average job size works at.
Okay. Okay. So on average for that, then it sounds like it's like a K-ish per job type of thing, roughly.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. Yeah.
Okay, just so we're plotting it out. Okay. And in terms of like sales wise, closing wise on your guys' side, if we get these people, facility managers, property owners, whoever, they say they're interested in what you guys do, we have actually hit them with messaging that they're interested in, right? Where they're actually interested in you, they're not trying to get estimates from 75 people. And you go there, the meeting's good, everything seems solid to go, kind of thing. Do you feel confident in your rep's ability to be able to close that person and get that job?
Yeah, we work on improving that all the time. We do a lot of training with our guys. So we'll just use a new account. Typically, a new account's going to have a lower closing ratio than a repeat account.
I do have a question real quick.
So,
Yeah.
Is that question useful?
Not super useful because everyone great at sales, right? Everyone's like, bring me qualified deals and I'll close it 100%, right?
Okay.
It's kind of this guy, however, I will say I am seeing some more honest signals. Like he mentioned earlier, unprompted HubSpot. We track everything. We want to analyze all the data. So this guy, I trust more than most people you talk to know his numbers and to know his close rate. The other thing that I trust about him is he's already tried going the cold calling to appointment route. And obviously cold calling is like cold emailing in that it's like it's cold traffic. It's demand gen. He's generating interest via cold calls or cold emails. So if his team is already used to handling handling appointments that were generated through the cold call channel, it's going to be pretty analogous to cold email, I would think.
I was even trying to use that question as like a way for them to like tie down later in so that they don't say like, they don't know if they're going to be able to close at XYZ percentage or whatever.
Right. Well,
So,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I don't know if that question is actually just taking up time that could be better spent on something else.
No, I think it's useful in this following way. Like how I would connect with this guy is I would be like, oh, so your sales team is used to selling cold traffic then from cold calls, right? Like how cold are these guys really? Like what do you, after the cold call appointment is set, did you guys send them anything? Did you email them? Did you snail mail them any materials? Did you like have them go to their website? Like, did you do anything at all? Or was it just cold that then a technician shows up on site and they're like, oh, wait, who are you? Oh yeah, I guess we have an appointment, right? I would gauge how cold of a cold meeting it has been and then use that to inform my assessment of like, okay, well, you guys actually sound like you're pretty good at closing cold traffic, which is great because that's what cold email is. It's cold traffic. The difference is blah, 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 right? You go into why it's better than cold calling for whatever reason, but that will help you give him confidence that this could work for him.
Okay. So on calls in general, would you keep that question or get rid of it?
You mean if they already have like a cold channel that they're selling from into?
I mean, would you just remove the question of like, we get you these people, they're interested, blah, 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 blah. Do you feel confident in your ability to close them?
Yeah, I would change the question because everyone's going to feel confident, right? Nobody wants to say, no, I suck at sales, right? I can't close a door, right? No one's going to say that. So a better question here would be, what has your team been closing at on the current traffic? What was your guys' close rate last month, for example? Go to the historical data because that's real. It's harder for them to bluff and lie about that. Most people are either going to say, oh, I don't know, I don't have those numbers, or they're going to bluff up and obviously like overinflate it because no one wants to sound like they suck. But then it'll give you a baseline to start from. And then I would always compare it to like the channel, whether it's referrals, warm, medium, cold, right? I would always like give them like a handicap. And I've kind of seen you do this, but I think you could do a little bit harder. When someone's like, oh yeah, we close 80% on referrals, I'm going to be like, great, you're going to close 10% on cold traffic. You never closed cold before, you're going to close 5 to 10%. Because that's actually what I see. That's just the stats from all the companies I work with.
Is that helpful to say though? I feel like it's going to like rinse my closing rate.
Well, the whole point is to put them in their place a little bit and be like, self-serving, but yeah, it's like, you guys probably need some sales training to close cold traffic. No, but I see your point. You don't have to go as low as 10, but I do think you should ask them like, have you guys ever closed cold traffic before? Oh, you haven't? Okay, well, just so you guys know, it might be an adjustment. You might feel that you're going to close at 50%, but you might close closer to 20%. The reason I'm doing this is, I don't know, maybe this isn't a problem, but my big fear doing your vehicle would be, I would be afraid of people signing up, getting 20 meetings, closing 0, and then firing me because they're like, oh, this channel doesn't work for us. It sucks. These are low quality leads. When in reality, they've just never tried to close cold traffic.
I usually tell them on the onboarding call.
Okay.
They can expect to close whatever XYZ percentage.
Okay. That's perfect. Move it to the onboarding call then. Yeah. Don't scare them too much with too much reality in the sales call. So leave it at 20. I would just change that question to like, what did you guys close last month? Oh, what channel was that? Okay, cool. Well, most people I see close 20% on cold email, out of the gate.
Okay.
Deliver my company correctly and be able to qualify correctly. So I would have to hear what that sounds like. I would have to have you guys plugged somewhat into my system so I can listen to those phone calls and know that you guys represent yourself as Taltech.
So we do everything through email. So basically what we do is everything is through email and then we set up a time.
Okay, you're just doing email marketing. Got it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because we do a lot of email marketing and we're really plugged in with using a ton of AI in what we do. I mean, that's part of the name here, Taltech. So this is talented people with technology. So we do a ton of that already. Email traditionally has a very low response rate and we're careful to over email people in the B2B space because it pisses them off, quite frankly.
We've generally found that if you send a 2-step email sequence, 3-step email sequence, if you send them emails every 45 to 60 days, you're able to do that. People just generally forget. Like for instance, I'm sure you get slammed with cold emails. If I asked you, how many cold emails do you remember from 8 months ago?
None.
Right. So that's why you can hit people pretty often. Not too often. You don't hit them every week or something, but you can hit people pretty often and generally it's good to go. Generally what we see is for every 500-ish emails we send out, we do get somebody who's interested, just for us, for our internal numbers across all of our clients. So we're able to take it from there. So the response rate net would be lower than cold calling or something, but because we're able to do volume and scale it up kind of thing, that's how it makes sense numbers wise. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm following.
All right, cool. And so
another thing I would put in for this guy here is it sounds like he already has a cold calling team that's just pure straight cold calling, like from a leads list they purchased or from the phone book or whatever. I'd ask him about that. Interested. Yeah. And then I'd connect it and be like, oh, if your cold callers are already doing that, they're going to find this a lot easier. We're just going to send you the leads. They can then cold call, warm call the interested replies. It's going to be a much easier convo because we've been exchanging emails. So as opposed to just like straight pure cold calling, this is going to be an easier sale for them. If they already know how to set appointments from pure cold, this is actually slightly above room temperature. It's not as cold as they're used to doing.
Yeah.
Just building his
good point.
confidence that he already kind of has the team that could take advantage of this lead channel.
I should absolutely do that more because I know Christian Placentia does that on a lot of his calls. So
Yeah. And it's so rare that you talk to a prospect, at least from the call listening I do. Most prospects don't have a killer cold calling team, right? They don't have that skill set. So if they do, that pairs really well with cold email.
I guess how many jobs would you be needing to get per month from us for you to consider it, a success, for you to be happy with it?
I don't know what you guys cost, so I would have to know that first.
Yeah. Okay. I guess ROI wise, what would you be looking at then for you to be happy with it?
Again, I don't know what you guys cost. I mean, for me, every expense that comes into this business has to have an appropriate markup.
So here, rather than pushing further on that, I would just be like, I mean, typically our customers are seeing a 5 to 10x ROI. Would that be good for you too? We don't really need to tie them down financially at this point in the call, but if you do want to, that's how I would do it.
Okay. You could probably skip like the next 90 seconds then.
Okay, because you're just like going back and forth. Yeah, because he's asking about 3 to 1, 5 to 1. I would just say a 10 to 1 would be ideal. I mean, that's the other problem with asking it this early is they're going to be like, yeah, give me 1,000,000 to 1. Give me freaking infinite money glitch. Like, you're the one that contacted me. So just bring me. I've literally heard prospects come on a call and be like, yeah, I'm here for dump trucks full of money. Like wise ass answers like that.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look in HubSpot. I don't have that right off the top of my head, but with my reps, they set up meetings every week, and it's part of their KPI. So I would say I'd have to look in the service department too.
Okay. Do you know like a rough estimate?
If you're talking production type meetings, like for re-roofs, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30, I would think.
Okay. And I know we said before you're just interested in talking about it, but what's making you not just double down on what you guys are currently doing? What's making you even potentially open to having this conversation?
It's just the kind of guy I am. I'm always looking for, something else. I believe in stacking, and once you stack so much, you can figure out what's not working.
Smart dude.
Or you can double down on the things that are working. So, we're gaining a lot of traction of the things that we're already doing. Like I said, I'm just interested to hear what you guys actually have to offer.
That makes sense. My guess then would be, you did say you guys are doing a lot of email already, right?
We did. Yeah,
So
we have big lists. We run off of that to email target these people. And like you said, we're very, very careful about how much we do it because some people can just block you or just get pissed off. We notice specifically ladies get very sensitive about this, or even the facility guys. So we're kind of careful about how much we do that.
Okay. How are you guys running the email? Are you doing it through like a platform like SmartLead or Instantly, or is it more of like a email marketing through through your CRM type of thing?
It's through our CRM, so we can actually see who opens it. We know what the click rate is. We know who opens the email. We know if it did go through to them, or if we got a bad email. So all of our sales and marketing activities all run through HubSpot.
Okay. How many emails do you guys generally send in per month, would you say?
Oh man, because we cover such a big area. I just had my marketing meeting probably an hour before we met here. Probably, I don't know, 10,000.
Okay. And what is that usually generating you guys in terms of number of appointments or meetings you get out of that?
We don't see much out of it. We don't see much, and we really dial that in too to make sure that our messaging is really good for it. The majority of what we see comes from face-to-face meetings and using trade partners for warm referrals.
Okay. So email side of things, we're not seeing results right now.
No, and I've been doing that for a long time. That's not something that's new to me.
Okay. Messaging wise, what does that normally look like? Do you have I know this isn't really your thing. It's probably someone else that does obviously handles the marketing kind of thing, but
yeah, we know the things, and it subject line really matters in all of this, and a certain amount of messaging that really hits a spot that matches what the avatar is and who we think it is, and we try to hammer that down because we've only got so many avatars, and we understand there's a difference in how a woman's going to respond to an email, the way a man's going to respond to an email, or the position of that person.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because we work with some other commercial home services companies, and we are able to get them results. So my thought process is it could be deliverability is good. I'm sure you guys track that. Okay, deliverability is good. What that means is either going to be the list or it's going to be the messaging. Like one of those is off for it to not be like performing well. How are you guys getting the list?
We use Convex and Zoom Info.
Okay. Are you cleaning it after you pull it through something like Zoom Info?
Yeah, we do. Whenever we find out we have a bad email, for example, we just scrap that from the list.
Okay. And are you guys scraping Google Maps as well to find people, or is it primarily through Zoom Info type of thing?
Convex actually provides, so that's the difference between Zoom Info and Convex. Convex actually provides the buildings that they own as well, and Zoom Info just really provides the contact information.
Okay. The one thing you're going to have with that is when you use something like Zoom Info, they exclude primarily listings overall. Do you believe me when I say that, or are you more, you think what you guys do is good and it's pretty optimal?
I don't know. I was waiting on you to, really, let me know your thoughts on, or give me your intel on what you guys really do. I'm just saying.
So you got a little into consulting him and kind of like assessing what their state of the art is with email, which is good. But this is where, let's see, maybe you did make a declarative statement. I think you probably said, yeah, you're basically telling him here, right? Like, here's what the problem is, right? You can be a little bit more authoritative in these moments with your expertise. You can be like, yeah, okay, I see the problem. Like, you guys are definitely not scraping the right data. You're not cleaning it well enough. And there's a lot, the way we do it is a lot more intensive than what you guys are doing. I understand why you're doing it the way you're doing it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the way we do it is kind of like the steroids, Incredible Hulk version of the way you guys are doing it. I would just kind of compare and contrast. Like, you guys can keep doing your HubSpot emails, but HubSpot is not really a sending platform for mass emails, just so you guys know. Like, it's good for transactional ongoing marketing with your existing customer base, but it's not good for the way we do like industrial scale cold email. Like, does that make sense? Right? So first, I'm just going to draw a differentiation of like, you guys are the kindergarten level and I'm like the PhD Albert Einstein version of what you're doing. Like, are you cool with that? Right? Because then I'm going to sell him we're going to be the 800-pound gorilla email solution coming into your company. What you're doing is fine, but it's just not going to drive you 15 to 30 meetings a month. There's just no way it can. You only have 10,000 contacts. There's no possible way you can get 30 meetings out of that, right? Does that make sense? You can hit him a little bit harder and you don't have to ask him like so gently, do you think what we do would help you? Right? You can just be like, boom, I know exactly what I do would help you.
Okay.
Right? Because he's asking you right here. He's literally telling you like, I don't know what I don't know. Like you guys are the experts. You tell me.
I'm just saying, as it stands today, and we've been doing this for a few years now, we just see very low response from emails. We get
Yeah, because you're doing it wrong, right? You're not doing it in a way that's going to book meetings, right?
Okay. Yeah, we can walk through our internal process in a pretty shortly here. Before that, is there any other solutions you're looking at outside of this call?
no. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what you guys did, so I thought I'd just give you some time to kind of walk me through what you do. I don't have to know your internal systems for it. You're telling me that for every 500 emails you send out, you typically get one response from it. I think that tells me what I need to know. I think from here, I just need to understand what does your package look like? Is it what's the cost for this?
Okay, let's go through that then. So I guess to kind of summarize what we talked about then, you guys are doing a lot of different stuff. You're doing trade shows, you're doing your own stuff, you're doing LinkedIn, Facebook ads, all that. You don't have a constraint on the capacity of number of meetings you guys can take, which I always love to hear. What I like. So we can get you 20 meetings, we can get you 50 per month as long as they're qualified.
Yep.
Right now you guys are doing email, which likely the list or messaging's off.
I mean,
right.
I can tell you all the reasons why I'd be your best roofing contractor as well. And if you've had bad experiences or no good experience anyway with a roofing contractor, you're naturally going to be a little bit more skeptical of what the outcome could look like.
Right. So I guess what would you do?
I try shit all the time.
All right. As long as I know why it makes sense. All right.
So $200 per shown and qualified call, okay, and $1,800 a month. So what does that mean per shown and qualified call?
So that means per appointment where your rep goes out and they meet the person and they talk with them. That's what we mean by that.
Okay, 20, and you got $5,000 a month. What is the 5,000? What does that do? What's the difference?
This package basically is just less per show and a qualified call. So if we plan on, if someone's more confident and they want a lot of meetings as well, overall, if we book them a lot of obviously meetings, and this one ends up being cheaper because this is less than this basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be better now that I'm thinking about it to simplify your packages so it starts out heavily in their favor in terms of if they're going to assume you're going to book very few meetings, right? So maybe you would like pump up your per meeting for the initial package. And then this negotiation should probably take place on the back end when you start booking them a shit load of meetings and they're like, oh, this is getting kind of expensive. And you're like, all right, $5,000 a month retainer, right? And like $200 per call. That's some negotiating room that probably is better down the line after they're already a client.
So have like the one package type of thing with the higher price per call, and then we can change from there.
Yeah, make it like a really easy introductory offer where like the monthly isn't too heavy, but it's obviously enough. And then the per call is also like heavier, but still like reasonable, where they're like, oh, and I would kind of pitch it as like, hey, let's say we book you 5 meetings or we book you 10 meetings, but you only think 2 are qualified. You're going to pay me $1,000. It's like not a big deal. That's one way to go about it. It depends on the prospect though. I think it kind of depends on, that's where I kind of like having multiple prospects because depending on what they believe you're going to book them in meetings, it kind of changes what you should pitch to a degree.
So if we did 150,000 and we get 1 per 500, then we're looking at 300 positive responses for that.
Yeah. Have you actually seen that happen?
Yeah, we just booked. So one of our clients they're a marketing agency. We booked them 21 meetings in the last 8 days, and they're a very expensive marketing agency. So they're also hitting SaaS companies, which is like one of the most difficult markets you can hit. So like those are very strong results. With that being said,
Got it. And how long have you guys been doing this?
a little bit over 2 years.
And what's your position with the company?
I am the founder,
I could have guessed that.
if that makes sense. A lot of people do ask about references, so I get it. But
Yeah.
primarily for
This
two
was a
reasons.
fucking reference for it, dude.
A lot
Yeah.
the companies we work with are pretty big and they don't want to really be hopping on the phone call with every single meeting we have. It also will like decrease their confidence. They're like, James, why are all these people skeptical? Why are they not confident? XYZ overall. I guess I would rather use that goodwill they have towards us towards more keeping them around for longer, being able to get them on the bigger packages so we can get more results type of thing, if that makes sense.
I would tidy this up a little bit. You're probably going to have to still handle this objection for the next couple of weeks while you get your stuff together. But the way I would handle this, the actual handle is like, oh yeah. First of all, isolate it. Like, hey, so is the only thing left for you a reference check? Otherwise we're moving forward. Like basically if you already had talked to someone, you're saying we'd move forward together, you'd pay and sign up. So that's the isolation, because they might then go into something else that makes the reference check irrelevant. They might go like, oh, well, no, I need to go run my numbers or I need to think about it or whatever. And then just go to handling that objection. The references thing will probably disappear. But if they say, yeah, I'm totally ready to go, I just need to check a reference before we move forward. Then you're like, okay, well, let me tell you my company's policy on that. We don't use our current clients as unpaid salespeople or consultants for us, obviously, to protect their time. And of course, I'll tell you what, like cold email works. I'm on 25 of these meetings a day or 25 of these meetings a week. So obviously, if I just passed out my client's information to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who was like maybe interested in signing up and thinking about it and not even necessarily going to take me on as a vendor, I would just put a huge amount of meetings on their calendars and I would just completely destroy their time. So out of respect and professionalism, that is off the table. So that's very important that you say it that way. You're like, out of respect and professionalism, that would be off the table. But what I can show you is some case study testimonials testimonials of some people who have worked with me and had a good experience, and I can pass those over. I guess just let me know what you're looking for specifically so I can send you the right testimonials. I have a bunch of testimonials I could send you, but let me just make sure I send you the exact right one that tells you what you're looking to know. So that's a way to narrow in on like getting away with just sending them a testimonial, especially if you only have one to start, right? But it's still going to kind of mess you up until you have enough testimonials where you could kind of say like, well, like take a look at these. These are all good results and they're all going to translate to your business.
Okay.
Because the way you explained it, you were like too honest, and he's just like, man, that's a hole in your game, right? Yeah. And he doesn't understand it because he's in a very different business where they do it. And then he's like, I don't get it. Yeah. It's just a skepticism. And honestly, having some case studies will definitely help with these.
Do you feel like my appearance also hurts me a bit on the call, or like a significant amount, or no? With my hair being like this versus like normal.
No, what's wrong with your appearance?
Throw it back. You don't think it matters that much?
I don't think it matters at all.
Okay.
I mean, like we all, yeah, sure. Everyone gets judged in some way, shape, or form, but like your appearance is not unprofessional, right? I mean, your appearance is only going to help you if you show up and you're like looking super unprofessional, like dirty, like ripped t-shirt, like you just ran out of bed, right? You're like hungover from the night before, whatever. Like if you're not showing up professionally, it's going to hurt you. But the basic bare minimum, like I don't think it's hurting you.
Okay.
Now I will say there are levels to this game, and to take it to the next level, like eventually you will want to get like nice professional looking background, like studio-esque, like nice lighting, depth of field, all that stuff. But that's down the line. You don't really technically need that for a while.
Okay. Do you feel like I look away from the camera too much on the calls?
No, you're overthinking it. I mean, nobody has like perfect, like dialed in eye contact with the camera at all times.
Okay.
As long as it's approximately correct.
Okay, cool. It sounds like I got some stuff to get done then, Drew. I appreciate
You do.
it.
You got some homework. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Good luck.